Welcome to episode 75 of the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. My name is Jackman Oaks.
And I'm Brian Hines. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Brian Hines.
Good. With us, as always, is the disembodied voice of our producer, Tiny Brian.
That's me. Hello, folks.
Today we're getting into all the action from OVW Thanksgiving Thunder, a.k.a. OVW TV 1320, emanating live originally from legendary Hot Point Davis Arena on November 28th, 2024. But first.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So, what did you think of Thanksgiving Thunder?
I loved it. We'll be getting into all of that, obviously, throughout the course of this show. It is the main show of the OVW podcast. It's what we do here weekly.
Unofficially speaking, of course.
Trying to get some interviews. We should get back on the interview train. I miss doing interviews.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah, I have some people that I'd like to talk to. I'll have my people reach out to their people.
So I did get a taxidermied moth in a fine rice paper package, folded like origami style.
That sounds like a personal problem.
I think it was from Dysfunction.
I was gonna say it sounds like Jared Leto on the like set of the Suicide Squad. You remember whenever he was like giving people used prophylactics and stuff?
Oh no, yeah.
Much less menacing than that.
My point is, Dysfunction has reached out to us.
Oh really?
Yeah,
good.
And so we'll maybe talk to them. And yeah, with the season coming up, they're about to get some time off. If you're listening to us and you are part of the OVW milieu at all, please reach out. We'd love to talk to you.
Can you spell milieu?
I cannot. I can't spell anything.
I see.
Milieu.
That is correct, but if you were in a spelling bee, you would be disqualified because you did not say the word, then spell it, and then say it again.
Oh, we got rid of that. That wasn't rules whenever I was in the spelling bee.
Well, I was Brown County Spelling Bee champ from 1993, so I know a thing or two about that.
True story. I almost won a spelling bee in 7th grade, and it was me and the other kid, and I said, holy shit, I'm going to have to keep doing this. They said vanilla. I said vanilla. Vannilia.
Vanilla.
See ya.
Nice.
Said I'm not going to regionals. I'm not going to state. I'm not
This
going
seems
to
like a lot of work for spelling.
I'm not going to any of this.
Yeah, I don't blame you. You know where Spelling Bee champ got me?
Right here?
Where at?
Right here, yeah. And
Hosting
wherever you
this
go,
podcast?
there you are.
Are we doing tour update? Seriously, Dysfunction. For those of you that don't know, we love Dysfunction.
I'm excited.
We are fascinated by
to hear
them.
that.
We are fascinated endlessly by them.
I was excited to see them on Thanksgiving Thunder.
Me too.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Let's take care of business, Brian Hines.
All right, let's go ahead and get the tour updates out of the way. If you happen to make it to any of these shows and we are unfortunately unable to make it, please feel free to post them and tag us in them, or
Where should
send
they
them
post
to us.
those pictures?
They could post them in the fan zone. That would be a good place to start. Do you have another place?
No, I just wanted to plug the fan zone.
Oh, yay,
You did
yay.
exactly what I wanted.
We
Thank you.
could have you post them in the fan zone where fans talk back, so all the fans could see your beautiful handiwork, just like our friend Matthew,
Right.
who is a phenomenal photographer.
Got to sit with him this past week.
Yes, you did. I was jealous because I only got to see him for a minute to say hi, but I know that you were posted up there.
Oh, it's so packed.
It was sold out.
We were once I sat down and people started filling in. I said, "Well, I guess this is just where I am all night." I didn't want to interrupt Matthew's process, but they should be really proud of the attendance they had on Thanksgiving Thunder.
They should. Not only did they sell out, but they also sold out a Country Boy, and that's the first time that's happened in the 15 months we've been doing this.
So not only do you have a big crowd, but you got a rowdy one.
A thirsty, rowdy crowd.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Honestly, it's the best crowd maybe since the week that Netflix came out.
I don't know. Christmas Chaos last year was pretty rocking.
It was pretty rocking.
Yeah.
Christmas Chaos last year.
Yeah, it was.
And I think that there was a time over the summer where those crowds were as good as any crowd that I've ever seen. Unfortunately, that momentum kind of got swept out from underneath them. But there was a time there, before we got into the dog days of summer, where the crowds were really, really rocking. And I think Thursday night was very reminiscent.
Yeah, June especially was just very energetic and lively and robust from a crowd standpoint.
And it just felt like they couldn't miss. Like when the crowds were that hot, it just it was just so fun to be there.
They were popping to pop almost.
Yeah, you're at a concert or a music festival environment, not like a professional sporting one. And I would say that Thursday was right there.
Thursday
with any of those crowds.
It was right there, and it was a phenomenal show. And the people that did make it were in for a Thanksgiving treat because it was epic.
Yeah, and got a live Overdrive, which is great. Great episode of Overdrive.
Speaking of Overdrive, I think we're going to our coverage of Overdrive. I think is going to resume with the episode that was live last night from when this releases. I think Victor and I are going to try to do that for you to release on Friday mornings.
Hallelujah.
So we will hopefully get back to that this week. That is the plan.
And if we're done recording, I am going to try to drop in on the Overdrive chat tonight.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, if we're done.
Recording here. That's 7, right? 7 or 8. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
We got about an hour.
Yeah, we got about an hour.
We do. It is actually 6:13. So
yeah, that's right.
I got a watch now that I don't have to reference my cell phone on camera any longer.
Oh, that's good.
Good deal.
So yeah, Hot Point. We got Country Boy Davis Seasons Beatings December 13th, right?
That is a big weekend. Yeah,
we're itching. Yeah, we're itching to jump into this show. So let's knock this out.
Yeah,
we've got all in 1 week the OVW Awards
for the first time open to the public.
That's Wednesday night.
If you have a ticket to Christmas Chaos, that ticket gets you into this event, or I think you can buy them separately.
They want to make this a special night, not only for the wrestlers, but for the fans. So that's Wednesday night. Thursday night, we have Rise, as usual. Hot Point, Davis Arena at 7. Mm-hmm. That Friday night, we have Country
Seasons
Boy
Beatings, yeah.
In Georgetown, December 13th. That Saturday, final pay-per-view of the year.
Christmas Chaos.
Insane schedule in a couple of weeks. If you're an OVW fan, an embarrassment of riches, truly.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
So that's, and then there's that one more.
What's the one in January, Brian?
That would be Winter Warfare, and that is in New Kensington, Pennsylvania.
January 25th.
Correct.
All tickets for all events, where?
OVW Tix, that is OVWTIX.com.
We will be back getting into all of the action. So excited. We didn't even get through the thing without getting into the action, the intro without getting into the action. But we will get into the action properly right after this.
Yes.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Tony Bryan here, executive producer, weird gopher. I don't know. I don't really know what I do for a living. But listen, Christmas is approaching, and we want to take this moment to say happy holidays. And we are going to be doing some best of shows, both for Fan Zone Live and for the OVW podcast in the next couple of weeks. We need to hear what are some of your favorite segments from this last year in both the podcast and Fan Zone Live.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
So reach out to us in the Fan Zone or just tag us on Facebook or Instagram. You can just kind of give us an idea of, I remember this time you guys did this or whatever. Give us some stuff, and we definitely want to put that on there. And coming up around Christmas time, we're going to take some time to be with our families, but we want to give you something cool to kind of look at. So we're going to try to do some best ofs, and we need your help with that. So OVWpodcast.com, OVW Podcast on all of your social medias. By the way, do you guys use Blue Sky? You ever? I'm thinking about maybe getting a Blue Sky account.
Mystery Blue Sky?
That would be very on brand for you, based on what I've heard on Blue Sky.
I don't know how to take that. I'm going to take it as an insult.
It's not.
Feels
it's
like
not.
an insult.
It's not. It's not. It's very. I'll explain later. It's not an insult.
Okay. So yes, Blue Sky no, not yet. We're not really on there. Maybe we will be some point. But for now, OVW Podcast everywhere else, even X.
And follow us on YouTube if you're not. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Subscribe on the
sake,
YouTube.
Subscribe on YouTube. We really need it, folks. Help us out.
Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe.
Now go back to the OVW Podcast, already in progress.
I don't want to get on Blue Sky, just for what it's worth.
I'm with you, man. I'm kind of done with social media largely in general.
It's like the anti-Twitter is what it's supposed to be.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Twitter for people who don't like X.
Yes.
It's old school Twitter. At least that's what it's trying to be.
Oh, so with the old logo and all that?
Well, they
or
can't.
something,
It's a butterfly.
Something
yes.
similar? Okay. All right. Well,
But I was never on Twitter in the first place. So
you didn't
not
miss
really.
much.
Back in the day, it was an amazing land. Back when everybody on Twitter was a wannabe comedy writer, and now
Yeah.
it's a cesspool.
Yeah, that was awesome back in the day, but now it's an electronic toilet of sorts.
And I'm not going anywhere near it. All right,
Grab a plunger.
first match of the night here in Overdrive, Brian Hines.
I wish we would have known that Overdrive was going to be live because we didn't get there right at 6. Usually the action starts around 6:30, 6:15. So that's about when we got there, and we had no idea. But boy, did we miss out a lot. Right off the bat, we get the rematch from the waterfront that we were dying to see.
Something we've talked about a lot.
Yes. First match right off the bat. Jay De Niro versus the veteran Jack Vaughn.
I think not only because we're sentimental favorites of Jay De Niro, and we loved what was cooking.
Oh yeah,
between Jack Vaughn and Jay De Niro back then, and then of course plans change. We go out of business for a few months, and I really think here though, especially before the Jay De Niro on a pole match, Jay De Niro here, you're just like. You're when you don't know the outcome of that match, you're just like, oh, we're finally effing getting it. Like it's Jack Vaughn and Jay De Niro, and he's coming out here and he's whipping Jay De Niro, or he's whipping Jack Vaughn's ass, and he's gonna break up with Tony tonight. And it's like I try to watch this match with that same mentality. Not that I actually hated the Jay De Niro on a pole match, but like the outcome of it definitely. I don't think was the one people expected or people were rooting for necessarily.
Which one? This one or the other one?
The Jay De Niro on a pole match. I guess that's what I'm saying is here, all of the hope in the crowd, and you can see it, you can hear it by the way they're acting.
Yeah.
Jay De Niro's going to get his groove back.
Is Jay De Niro is getting his groove back, and that's like kind of the story of this match, right? Is like, oh yeah, Jay De Niro, Jack Vaughn. Jack Vaughn is a former heavyweight champion. You know, Jack Vaughn is the veteran. Jack Vaughn's one of the best, and Jay De Niro's going toe to toe with him. And we're finally gonna get it. And then we did. But
spoilers.
We'll get into it. But no, I loved this as a Jay De Niro match.
Oh, yeah. This was a great match. I mean, you know, setting Jack Vaughn up for the sidewalk slam and just dropping him. And then Vaughn doing that later on in the match. I mean, we finally get to see these two Titanic Titans go head-to-head, and I was not disappointed in the least. No, there wasn't any outside interference from like EC3 or anybody weird.
Yeah, just a little from Tony Evans.
And that's to be expected.
That's to be expected.
Yeah, that's commonplace.
And also, Jack Vaughn, if he had a tag team partner or a valet, he would definitely be advocating for a little bit of cheating. So I don't think he got his feelings hurt.
That's just veterans move.
Yeah, that's just a veteran
That's
move.
just veteran thinking on his part.
So I don't think he got his feelings too hurt over it.
No, not at all.
Especially because he
sucked it up, Buttercup. That's professional wrestling.
He took the victory here too.
Well, I mean, yeah, he did, but that was after Jack Vaughn slung him into Tony Evans, and that kaiju lariat at the end, that was straight, anger.
That was a...
you could tell by the way he landed it. It was just, bam.
Big time moment from Jack Vaughn.
I'm going to go back and...
you want to see that lariat?
I do kind of want to see it, yeah.
Now that we're talking about it.
No, I know we've just got like a second or two, but I was glad that we finally got this match, and I was glad that they led off with this because I hate loose ends.
Well, and it was indicative of the amount of action and the quality of action that we were going to get for the rest of the night.
Yes, absolutely. If this is what you led with, then you know the rest of the night you're in for a treat.
Yeah, because these two guys are no slouches.
No, not at all. Here it is. It's almost here. Wait for it.
Tony Evans.
Bang.
Tony Evans gets thrown to the ramp.
Pissed.
And, I mean, Jay De Niro is a brick wall. So.
Oh, yeah. It's not like he was a slouch in this match.
It
was very even, toe-to-toe, all the way straight up and down.
I just love when Jay De Niro hits the lariat. Or, I'm sorry, when Jack hits the lariat on Jay and Jay falls like a ton of bricks. He's not able to go through Jay the way that he is like some people.
Yeah.
But it still is like just deadly and effective.
It's a collision. Was. It looks like something that you would see out on the interstate.
Yes. Jack Vaughn takes the victory. Bout 2, of the evening.
Perhaps the most fun moment of the evening.
Like two of the most like gaga teams in OVW, Beaches and Cream and Dysfunction. I think that, kind of the said Dysfunction, I would love to see. We say it all the time. I'd love to see more of them. I would love to see them in the tag, the tag. What I'm trying to say? Title situation.
The tag title picture.
Yes.
I can't talk today. I would love to just see more of them in general, because when we do get to see them, it's usually in a losing effort, and I don't think that we get to see like the wrestling prowess of them as much.
Generally, no, but that wasn't the case here. They came in and they were focused, and they were on a mission. And I mean, a lot of times there's a fair amount of goofiness here and there, like getting bonked or something like that. But there was none of that here. They came to play and play hard, and they had to because Beaches and Cream are tops of the tag division.
Yeah, I mean, Beaches and Cream are riding a high right now. And kind of,
Luscious shaved his mustache. Did y'all notice?
Yes, I did, and I was crushed because he had a good stash. We had a good talk about mustaches the last time I was at Davis Arena.
He probably had to clean up for Thanksgiving.
Well, yeah, that's probably it. I don't, so the hell with it.
Crushed by Lush seems to be a good T-shirt.
That is actually my favorite cologne.
Crushed by Lush?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get that at Dollar General, right?
No.
No? Are you sure?
No. CVS, please.
Oh, gas station.
Please, yeah. The one, it's like cologne and like ribbed condoms. You get it out of that.
You have to get it's exclusively in the spray.
You have to push
machines.
the 4 quarters together in there and then turn it, and they have to go through all at once because it doesn't work if they don't.
Selected novelties. Adult novelties. I wonder if Luscious Lawrence, like, that just must, for like a character, like, that must be like the coolest thing ever, right? If you're Luscious Lawrence and you could just buy a condom off of the wall in a bathroom, like from a character's perspective, right?
Every time you figure he just buys one, it comes out, he holds it up, turns to the camera that's not there, and goes, "Hell yeah,
hell yeah." I don't think that it was any surprise that Beaches and Cream took the victory here. Like I was saying, Omar and Luscious are riding a high. I think that they've really done a lot in a short amount of time to rejuvenate those tag team title belts. And I think that they've put in enough work and are going to continue to put in a lot of good work that when they lose those belts, it's going to be a feud that people are here and ready for. Probably someone from the Revolution, I would imagine. I don't know. But I just think that they've done a lot of good work in a short amount of time here. Not only coming back from being,
the most heinous of heels.
Those guys.
Yeah. About a year ago.
Too hot for TV.
Too hot for TV.
Yeah, springerific.
From being those guys to working up to being baby faces to working up to rejuvenating the titles that I've said, those guys should be very proud of themselves. Very, very proud of themselves.
I'm impressed with the fact that a lot of their offense, specifically Luscious Lawrence, is ass attack. I mean, he will hit you with his behind or give you the stinkalicious in the corner, whatever it is.
If you had it like that, you'd be hitting everybody with it.
Well, that's a lot of cake.
It's a lot of cake.
So there's that. But it's pretty impressive nonetheless.
He does have 4 variations, I think, on the stink face. Because he has the one where he gets up on the top rope and hangs on and grabs you with his feet.
Yeah.
And then drives you into his ass.
That's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, that's the most involved. And
Yeah.
then he gets you on the lower rope, I think, and he'll just kind of sit on you and wipe.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah.
But the
that's a
one
more
where he's
standard
like
stink
up on the
face.
top rope, that one in my head I call it the stinkalicious.
The Stinkalicious.
Stinkalicious.
Let's just stop
Beaches
there.
and Cream win.
Let's just stop there.
How cool was it that Hollywood Haley J hosted the first hour?
Well,
live.
She is the top star.
The hostess with the mostest.
I will say any excuse you have to have her on camera, have her in a ring, have a microphone in her hand,
and put her in a ball gown.
Yeah, and you take
Classy
that.
looking.
That is
All sparkly.
That is your biggest star, bar none. I think you got to have her there as often as you possibly can in any role she is willing to do. So seeing her in this role, no-brainer, right?
No, that was a natural choice, and she's a natural for this sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. No, you just give her a microphone and go. You don't have to worry about Holly at all. Or Hollyhood, Haley. J. Holly.
Careful, she'll get that soccer rocks on you.
Yeah, I don't want that. So, yeah, we're kind of going back and forth. We see Star Rider and Icon. We'll see that match later in the evening, of course. What did you think of kind of the crowd's reaction here during this segment of, what they were being shown? It seemed tepid.
Specifically, are you referring to the in-ring segment with Icon Lee?
Yes.
They weren't feeling it, man. I mean, I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that Hollywood Haley J was kind of ripping on him.
He has yet to connect with the crowd at Davis Arena.
Yeah, it's just not all online yet. I mean, in ring, solid as you could ask for. But as far as getting over with the fans and charisma,
well, he's in a
maybe
very tough spot here because he's sitting next to. He's in the ring sharing a microphone with charisma personified.
Right.
Informal attire.
Yes, she can do no wrong, and people are tepid on Icon right now, and it just makes, when you're putting the two of them next to each other, it makes the gap bigger.
Yeah.
Do we think that Icon? I think that, and I've wondered about this. Because nobody tries harder than Icon.
He seems like a really smart cat.
He's out there hustling every day, and you got to respect the work. And I wonder if maybe his gimmick is just maybe too complicated, that he needs to pare it down a little to help connect with Davis Arena. I mean,
I don't know that I would say that the gimmick itself is complicated, but I feel like there's a difference between a cologne and a marinade.
I mean, that's a pretty good observation. But even what Eric has to say is he's coming in. Now entering his domain, the shepherd of sheep, someone you've almost never heard of, Icon Lee.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing, man, is if we're really talking about crowd reaction, it ain't no single wrestler's domain. It's really
That's
not.
The thing.
No.
If it's anybody's, it's Haley's.
Or cash flows.
Or cash flows, yeah. But the thing about Davis Arena that makes it so special is the way that the wrestlers understand the sense of ownership that the fans have. Mm-hmm. So whenever you're coming out and you're saying entering his domain, every single fan there says no. This is our domain. This is for us.
Yeah,
this
that's a kind of a turnoff to a lot of people.
Right. This is for us. I think that Icon is an incredibly talented cat. I think he's a very smart cat. I think that's very obvious.
Agreed.
But I do think that there is something in presentation or something that's just really not allowing him to click right now with Davis Arena. And I'm not a wrestler, man. I don't know what it is. I'm an idiot with a microphone on the internet, right? All I do is talk. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it just seems like
there just needs
so
to be
much.
some retooling.
And and then he's got he's got his one contact lens or his one messed up eye.
He and ZDP split a pair.
Oh, I
because
see.
they're on the same plan and they could only get one. So.
It's sort of a family fake eye plan.
Right.
I do think that there is something kind of not wrestling-y enough with his presentation.
Well, it's good that he dropped the helmet. Let's be honest.
Yeah. But no, I mean, he'll get there because I do see.
He's got the skill.
I do see how hard he works.
Mm-hmm.
I just think OVW is a fickle place, man.
Yeah,
I think it's just an interesting place. It's an interesting microcosm.
To quote Winston Zedmore, he's got the tools, he's got the talent.
Right.
Just the whole thing's not there, and it'll get there eventually. But it's the OVW fans, and without them, there is no you or depending on who you ask.
There ain't none of it.
No,
there ain't none of it if people don't show up. So. Ain't none of it. People don't show up and react. So moving on, Haley, of course, gripes that she's not in the women's championship match. That's probably
a precursor to later.
Right. And obviously she wants to be there. people want to see her in the championship title match conversation.
Yeah.
And then she brings out Cal to talk about the gentleman's match. Cal is dressed very well. Looks very good. Very good, I will say.
Almost like he's on a date or something.
Cleans up nice. Cleans up nice, doesn't he?
That Cal Hero kid, he's a
good boy.
He's a good boy. Yeah.
He's a real good boy.
Okay, he's not a dog. Be careful, guys.
No, that's like what my grandmother would say.
He's a good boy.
He's a good.
He's a good egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a bright boy. Is what my grandmother would say. Yeah.
So I'm ready to move on.
Let's talk about this.
Cal's good on the mic. We can stipulate that.
Always.
Yeah. So next up is something that I have never seen before in 40 years of wrestling fandom. I mean, I love a good battle royal. I don't know anybody who doesn't. But this was a reverse battle royal, and this was about the time we made it into Davis. And I remember I was talking to Miss Becky up front, and she was kind of giving us the lowdown on what we missed so far. And, you guys missed Dysfunction. Ah, crap. You missed Jay De Niro and Jack Vaughn. No way, really? And we were in the middle of this. And I just look over, and there's, 20 of OVW's top superstars, and among them, the best and brightest from recent Academy graduates. I mean,
I have listed them all for you there in the notes.
Yeah. Hey, look at that. There they are. And it was a wonderful way to showcase all of the talent that came from the OVW Academy. We've gotten a chance to talk to a lot of these guys: Boy Toy Troy, Star Player Prime, Showtime Shanklin.
They're all listed there.
Yeah, they are listed there. Hold on. There we are.
Our friend Briar.
Yeah, that was who I was looking for, but he's at the very, very bottom of the list. I'm sorry about that. But, this was a reverse battle royal. Any other time, you want to be the last person standing because that means that you are, you're the winner, for lack of a better term. But this was the opposite. People were beating each other up to keep them inside the ring, which I thought was very innovative and a fun twist on this that I'd never seen before. And the first thing I heard was, Boy Toy Troy is safe.
I heard Super Z is safe.
And I remember thinking,
from what?
Oh, good. That's good. And then I thought, wait, what the hell's going on? Safe from what?
Yeah, safe from communism?
And then we had to ask, Miss Becky to fill us in. And then that's when she told us that I wouldn't say the loser because we were corrected last week, but the last man standing got the privilege of wearing a Thanksgiving costume, a turkey costume, if you will, until they win their next match.
So we can say here that the one, let's go ahead and state that this was the man that I have been known to call the medium show, Brandon Beretta. Strictly Business, Brandon Beretta. He was also the first one in the ring, which is important for me. Important to note from a strictly performance point of view.
Well, what they're going to end up doing is that poor kid's going to get brought out every week in that turkey costume. He's going to lose every which way you possibly can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's going to get cheated.
Right. And the vindication is going to be the payoff, right? When he finally gets to take that damn thing off. And Brandon Beretta is, for me, the only choice for the Thanksgiving turkey costume.
Yeah, going through and looking down the list, it's like any of these folks, it would be an end to this match, but it wouldn't have the pop. It wouldn't mean the same if it wasn't somebody who is billing themselves as strictly business.
Correct.
And if you hit somebody who considers themselves strictly business with a ridiculous Thanksgiving costume, much like I had on when I was at
You did not look nearly as ridiculous, but you weren't far behind.
No, I tried. And believe me, I did.
But no, I think when you look at the people as, he's the only choice. And whenever that thing finally comes off, he's made.
Yeah.
He's made. And I think that it's kind of obvious, too, that Brandon Beretta, how do I want to put this? It's kind of obvious that he's one of the handful of guys from the recent Academy graduates that is earmarked for, we're keeping an eye on you, kid.
Or they're going to punch his ticket?
No, they're going to clip his ear like he's a stray cat.
Okay.
they know what they're doing by putting him in this situation, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. It's really going to help that kid.
I feel like he started off as strictly business, and now it's going to be a situation where he feels like he's going to have to work even harder to shed this turkey-licious outfit.
Well, and before he had no personality, now he does have one. His personality is
turkey-lurkey,
embarrassed. His personality is frustrated. His personality is a bunch of different things now because of this stipulation.
Well, the only thing I knew to say about him was to call him the medium show because he wears a black singlet like Paul White did back when he was the big show.
That's right.
So that's all I had for him, and now we have something new for him.
Right.
Well, if you only cook a turkey until it's medium way done, you're going to get sick. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you cook the turkey plenty long
during
enough.
this holiday season, especially.
Until that little red thermometer goes boop.
Let's get into the show proper here, shall we? We're running long here today, but it's okay. We had an extra half hour of content to cover. So.
Yeah, we definitely did, and there's a lot to talk about.
So AJZ here at the opening of the show proper, AJZ versus Dustin Jackson, an anything goes match. I think that is. It goes without saying after the last week where these two guys couldn't keep their hands off of each other.
Right.
We had to put them in some sort of stipulation that was going to allow for a certain amount of violence.
And we certainly did.
And we did, right. I don't know. I want to see what the next step for Dustin Jackson is on this journey as the media champion. And I don't know if AJZ is that person.
He wasn't on Tuesday.
He was certainly not on Tuesday. I don't know if this is something that we're just kind of having in here so that we can hold a couple of weeks' time, or what the long-term plan is with Dustin and the belt. I know what I would personally like to see Dustin get thrown into maybe after the new year, or maybe just at the last pay-per-view, and that's hopefully a returning Jay Manola Vincia and a program with Dustin.
Wow, that would be something.
I think that of all the options that are on the table, and I know that Jamin is traveling, and I know he's due back soon. I don't know anything more than that. I think of all the options on the table, that is definitely like the one with the most steak and sizzle, right? If we're taking anybody that's currently associated with the Revolution and putting them in a program with this belt, it's, for me, got to be Jamin, right?
And that would be a great continuation of this match. I mean, this match started off hot. AJZ he's practically feral.
Right.
And
AJZ always brings the intensity.
Dustin Jackson was ferocious. I mean, he jumped over the top rope, hit the ground running, and they were off to the races just like that. He was ferocious.
He very rarely wrestles, fully clothed. He did not, he took, as you were saying, he took no time to do anything other than get in the ring and start the match.
Yeah.
Love the intensity there.
It's like they've been fighting all over Louisville for the whole week.
Well, that would have been the implication, certainly. I think, though, obviously, right match, or maybe not something like I said I wanted to see long-term, but right match, right time, making Dustin look strong, keeping Dustin looking strong, and non-title match, so it doesn't matter, but Dustin takes the victory.
Yeah, he does. But for me, this begs one question. AJZ is a former tag team champion.
Right.
Where's his partner been? What's up with Dalton McKenzie? I haven't seen him around for a while. I'm hoping we see him soon.
We had heard there was some he was hurt for a little while, right?
Not that I know of.
I think I heard a rumor. I would say that's scuttlebutt, not scoop.
That's a Fleetwood Mac album, and it's a very fine one, but I can't comment on that.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
he's probably out scouting for other members of the Revolution.
Wherever he is, whenever he's ready to come back, we know where he knows where his bread's buttered. He'll be in the Revolution, and he'll be figured into that prominently, I would imagine, because he left. He kind of left a hole there, right? People want to see him, a vacancy, right? They brought more members into the Revolution since he hasn't been around, but they haven't quite replaced his function.
I don't think there's
In
any
the
replacing
A big
him.
man. Yeah, there's not that big body.
Well, they have
Except
Kadeem.
for Kadeem, but he's not really as...
He's Mr. McKenzie is a lot more, how should I say, variable. He has a lot more that he could do, I think, right now than Mount Kadeem could
I believe you're trying to say he has a broader
set of
move
skills.
set.
Yes. There's different things that you could do with him right now that you can't necessarily do with Mount Kadeem right now.
Sure.
But yeah, I cannot wait to see him back. I know that you guys go way back, and I cannot wait to see him back.
You and me both. I can't wait.
So all throughout the night, we see Cal Hero kind of trying to, how do they say it? You have a teenager.
I do.
The Riz.
Yeah, he appears to have the Riz with one KDG.
Is that how you use? Do you have the Riz or do you have Riz? Do you give away Riz to other people? Can you Riz with one another?
They're like sweet tarts or Spree. You can like trade them with your friends.
You do whatever you want with them.
Follow your heart.
How did that even become
It's
a slang?
charisma.
Oh, it's short for charisma.
Yeah, it's charisma.
Oh, I had no idea. I really did not know that was the origin. Okay, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah. See?
So yeah, Cal Hero is charisming his way through.
Don't try to play with it. It's not jazz. Don't improvise.
He's trying to flirt with old Katie Gannon.
Don't call her old.
With Miss Katie Gannon. And that would probably be because she is the third judge in the gentleman's match that would be the main event of the night. And Cal, let's be honest, knows that he's going to need any little advantage that he can.
Sure.
With the way that the judges' cards are stacked against him, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, and leading up to this, we knew who 2 out of the 3 judges were.
Right.
Leather Daddy Doug Basham, Katie G, and we didn't know the third one, although it was kind of implied that maybe it was Al Snow it was somebody more on Cal's side. But, I mean, Meatloaf said Cal 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but we don't know who the third one is, so it could be 3 out of 3.
Yeah, we know that we know at this point in the night that we hope it's on Cal's side.
Yes.
We know enough to assume that it's someone on Cal's side.
And if he's trying to woo Katie, at best for him, it's like a 50-50 proposition.
Yeah. I think very smart from young Cal Hero.
Yeah, very wise young man.
So that, like I said, that kind of goes on throughout the night. We'll kind of touch on that as we go through the show. The second match of the show proper here, OVW Rush Division Championship title match between Icon Lee. He, of course, won the number 1 contendership in a 4-way a few weeks ago.
Fairly impressively. We've been
Icon
a
Lee's
little harsh with
impressive.
him earlier. Let's be nice.
Icon Lee's impressive, man. Icon Lee's impressive, like in the ring. And I've said this before. I've said it to everybody. There's a certain element of this show where I have to say things that maybe are just so that people will listen. But there's also an element of this show where I usually don't get too far off of how I really feel, even when I'm saying those things.
And it's not just how you feel. It's what we hear
and I'm not
when
even
we're in the crowd
Yeah,
sometimes.
I'm not even necessarily talking about my feelings on Icon Lee. I'm talking about the crowd's reaction to him. So
yeah, what people are talking about.
And like I said, I think that kid's really smart. I think that there is something very genuine about him in the couple of interactions that I've had with him. And I don't think that I think he's a little tougher than some idiot on the internet talking about him. But between Icon Lee and Star Rider here, match of the night, maybe? Is this match of the night? I kind of like the main event better, but this is definitely a lot more in line with what I like about wrestling, or just one-on-one, back and forth.
Yeah.
Kind of equally matched opponents. Star Rider, it's been a while since he's gotten a guy that's kind of willing to play his game, I think, and can do it as effectively as Icon Lee does. Mm-hmm. I think Star was having a blast in this.
I mean, on one hand, yeah, but then on the other hand, I kind of feel like he was a little bit more intense on Tuesday than he normally is. Mm-hmm. And I suspect that it is because Thanksgiving is his favorite holiday, and he was ready to just
ready
wrap
to
it
get
up
out
and
of
head to the
there.
house. Yeah.
He's ready to go.
I mean, I hear that in the Ryder family, the food on Thanksgiving is pretty top shelf.
No, I
So that's Star Rider, Knight Rider,
John Moxley in Japan, the Death Rider,
Easy Rider.
Easy Rider.
Easy Rider.
Yeah.
Seems like a fun Thanksgiving crowd. Kit doesn't eat,
Typewriter.
so Typewriter. Oh, wow.
Anyway.
So Star Rider gets the win.
Star Rider takes home the victory.
And retains the title.
And the stuffing.
And the stuffing.
I think we'll see more of Icon Lee, though.
Oh, definitely.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. That's for sure.
Excuse me, golly.
You all right?
Yeah, can you go ahead and take over for a moment?
All right. So coming up next is the heavily anticipated Superior Tony Evans versus Will Austin. Jay De Niro on a pole match. Can you get him something to drink?
Yeah, he's grabbing me
Okay.
something. I'm so sorry. I thought I brought it in here.
That's okay. I'll keep going. So, in case you've been living under a rock, Superior Tony Evans has gotten the services of Jay De Niro for quite a long time now.
Yeah, the entirety of the time I think that we've been covering
as long as
OVW.
we've been here, it has been Tony Evans, Superior, Hush, and Jay De Niro. Will Austin has promised Jay De Niro that if he came and was giving him the same enforcer services, insurance, I guess you would call it, he would be free to be his own man, and that Jay De Niro could be his ace hole and not Superior Tony Evans's is anymore.
Yeah, Tony Evans got a really big ace hole as it is.
Yeah, definitely.
So did they book this match just to say Jay De Niro on a pole match? Because
I believe so. I believe they did, and even people who had been talking to us beforehand from inside OVW were like, "Can you believe he's really going to be on a pole?" So the
guys,
whole week we were like,
I wish so badly
I wanted it so much
that he was up on like a forklift like Judy Bagwell.
yeah, a lot of people kind of thought that was the way it was going to go, but no, it was your standard contract.
And actually, now that I'm talking and thinking about it, this match sucked because he wasn't up there on a pole.
It wasn't. I mean, I'm not going to say it was a bad match.
No, it was not. It was quite the opposite.
Going back to what you said about the Star Rider Icon Lee match, I don't think I could pick a match of the night because I enjoyed the whole thing as an experience. Going there, and speaking of my experience being at Davis Arena, Hot Point Davis Arena on Tuesday night, I had a phenomenal time. It was one of those times where I felt like I was a kid again because there was that level of excitement, that level of enthusiasm, that level of showmanship and pomp and circumstance. It was all there in what you would hope for in a holiday pay-per-view. And going back and watching this as somebody from the house, I got to see all the things that we missed and got to see a great 3-hour-long program. Which was a whole different experience in and of itself. But this match is certainly part of it because these two guys have been going back and forth for a while. And, Jay De Niro is, the man in demand. He's the right hand of doom.
Right.
And if you've got somebody like that in your corner, you're going places, kid.
Well, and, I mean, there's a couple of moments. I think definitely the moment of the night is the Spanish Fly. From the top rope.
I'm sorry, I don't really know what I know the moves, but I don't know which one was the Spanish Fly.
The Spanish Fly is it basically is if you were doing a backflip, but you were taking the other person with you.
Oh my!
And there's also a rotation at some point in there.
Okay, yeah, I remember that move. I did not know that was called a Spanish Fly. I'm not the wrestling expert here.
Was that it?
No, there was a couple of big time moves in that match, but for me it was the Spanish Fly.
I know that Superior Tony Evans kind of caught him when he was in the middle of something and just slammed his ass on the mat, just not having it. Boom.
I guess we should get into the ending though
Of this match
because I think everything was up on the table, maybe except for this.
Yeah.
Which is Will Austin winning.
Fair and square.
Fair and square. Jay De Niro. Will Austin basically saying, "Oh no, come on, brother, it's me and you now."
Hit him.
And Jay De Niro taking out Will Austin
Instead of Tony as he was ordered.
It really looked like the setup was like an Old Yeller moment.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, Will Austin wins. He's like, ha, 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 I got your boy. You're coming with me. It's kind of like I got your nose, except for, Jay De Niro's like 6'10".
That's a whole person.
And he puts on the glove.
Jay does.
Yeah. 6. And it looks like he's going to clock Superior Tony Evans, and you feel like he's got it coming. And no, he turns the tables and knocks Will Austin out. And you think that he still might, hit Tony Evans? Nah. They leave the ring thick as thieves like they always were.
They hug.
Yeah.
Don't run past the fact that they hug.
All right, kid.
Sorry, I don't mean to take.
Keep your pants on.
I will. I hope they did.
You good? You good?
Do open my mouth a little bit.
I don't think anybody. I think honestly, kind of as the match started playing out, what I had talked myself into was Jay De Niro taking both of them out and really truly being his own man, ripping up the contract.
Yeah.
Definitely did not have Tony and Jay. I guess what I really didn't have is Jay's. There's no motivation in his character to be his own man, it seems. He's very content helping Tony Evans cheat. And, brother, if the check clears and you're happy doing what you're doing, go for it, man. But the crowd was right there ready for solo Jay De Niro or for a Tony-less, a Jay-less Tony Evans.
They still are.
I don't know. I don't think that's what we're getting anymore, man.
I don't think that's what we're getting either. But I mean, past 2-3 weeks, we heard "We Want Jay" chants the whole time.
I would say that the crowd tended more babyface for Jay over Jack Vaughn.
Oh yeah.
Well, between the two, that's a little bit different story. That's just like by comparison. If you have Jay De Niro and Jack Vaughn, people are going to go for Jack Vaughn because that's just kind of how he is. But if it's Jay De Niro versus Tony Evans or Jay De Niro versus Will Austin, I kind of feel like it would tend more towards De Niro. At least it would at my house.
Sure.
But I digress.
Yeah. Definitely did not see that coming. Tony Evans and Jay De Niro, no trouble in paradise.
No.
The divorce papers were served and they ripped them up.
It's the Bad Girls Club all over again. It's the faction that will not die.
Oh, but they're power. Go for it.
No, I
happy
love.
kids.
I'm not mad.
Those two crazy kids. You guys go for it.
Yeah.
So again, kind of as Cal is wooing Katie, he brings her some candy to her office. You got to watch that, Cal, because it's going to make all the other girls jealous.
Yeah.
You're going to have to bring candy to everybody.
Yeah.
And that Ferrero Rocher is not cheap.
No, it isn't. At least until December 26th.
Then it's that's a glorious time.
Yeah, I got Malachi. He's going to hook me up when he's in there at his job the day after Christmas.
That's right.
You should see the mountain of caramel we have at our house after Thanksgiving. He was so proud of himself. He came home with like 12 bottles of caramel.
Bottles of caramel?
Like big old, like cereal bowl sizes. And there's literally a half dozen.
Malachi, what are you going to do with all of those?
Wait, what?
And we get the cat that eat he bought a whole bunch of caramel.
Are you going to?
For what?
I'm going to eat it.
Whoa.
It's a Christmas
I didn't think it
miracle.
would actually work.
I didn't think so either, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of Malachi P.S. Woodard for one of the very, very first times.
If not, that is definitely the first full sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Guys, Tony Evans and Jay De Niro still together, and Malachi's talking on the podcast.
And he's going to eat nothing but caramel. Check your blood sugar when you're finished with
yeah,
that.
man, seriously. Let's
He
not go
literally
overboard.
was looking at the fridge this morning and he's like, I don't have anything to put caramel on.
But I got the caramel.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's amazing. So we have a 2-on-1 match. Leo, Fox, and Shannon the Dude. Seems like they've made quick friends, right?
Yes.
being that Leo gave Shannon the new belt and all of that stuff. Leo the Fox and Shannon the Dude versus Adam Revolver. I mean, we know what a 2-on-1 match means. Is that the guy and that's the one is going to get beat up a lot. He's going to get beat up by the two, right? Every time he tries to get a little bit of advantage, the referee is going to see him try to get the advantage, but is woefully unaware that the heels are cheating.
Of course.
And, Adam Revolver plays this part wonderfully. Adam Revolver is a great professional wrestler. He kind of gets beat up. There's a little bit of hope spot. And then the thing happens that I think none of us expected to happen, which was Jesse Goddard's.
Yeah, didn't see that coming.
I thought he was going to be, for what it's worth, the third judge.
Yeah, that seemed.
That would have been something.
We had heard some things. I know that he had been present around. I don't want to sound like I know more than I do because I simply don't. But I had heard some things, and I kind of felt it's Jesse Goddard's is going to be making a return soon. Happens to be that he makes a return here to save Adam Revolver. Jesse Goddard's looked effing amazing.
Well, yeah. I mean, he probably just flew in from House of Villains.
That tan was not quitting.
No.
Comes
and
out.
The pecs were popping.
The pecs were popping. The shirt was great. Sunglasses
There was
were
no
great.
shirt, was there?
Yeah, it was a tank top.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's that moment, obviously, of who's he here for?
Right.
Him and Shannon have been friends for a long time up until this point.
And Shannon
up until they weren't.
Yeah.
Up until they weren't, right. Then he makes his intentions known very quickly. Grabs Shannon up.
Mm-hmm.
Grabs him by the back of the head.
Tosses him around a little bit. And I guess we're heading towards Shannon the Dude and Leo Fox versus Jesse Goddard's and Adam Revolver.
That's exactly what I wrote down in my notes for Christmas Chaos.
The tag team I didn't know that I wanted. Adam Revolver, Jesse Goddard's. Jesse looks great. He was exuding star power. How was I ever going to miss you if you never went away and now you're back and I'm so glad to see you?
Yeah.
The crowd certainly popped for Jesse.
The crowd was here for it too.
Yeah.
Very much looking forward to Jesse's return here. I think that we're in for a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think we're in for a lot of fun.
So Adam Revolver won, right?
I don't think that there's...
There was not a finish.
There wasn't a clear finish. Okay. Because I was thinking... I stepped away for a second, and then I came back to the TV, and I saw where he was getting the beat down at the end by Leo Fox and Shannon the Dude. I thought that Adam Revolver won, but they were getting their revenge. But I'm just glad nobody got hurt, and I hope that especially Leo Fox didn't get hurt. He'd probably have to go. He'd probably have to go see his doctor, Dr. Rosen.
Is that Fletch?
No, as far as you know, it's not.
All right, because he's like an undercover guy in that movie. Triple threat match, penultimate match of the evening. No. Sorry, we've got more than what I thought. Triple threat match: Holly Hood, Haley J, Crystal White, and Sophia Rose.
Yes,
Crystal. So I guess, as I've said before, you got to have Haley on the show. Any way you can get her on the show.
Absolutely.
While she's in the ring, I don't think it's Sophia's time to pin her, but I think that getting Sophia winning while Haley is there is that's our most recent notifier of where we're going with Sophia.
I was impressed with this match.
I was too. This was a great little three-way.
Yeah.
Let's not bury the lead on this match.
We're not getting there. We haven't got there yet.
Okay.
The standout star, Crystal.
Crystal was the glue that held this match together.
She was amazing. I had no idea Crystal had it in her.
No, Crystal was absolutely the glue that held this thing together. Whenever you're in a big multi-man match like this and everything's got to be precise and hairpin, it's very kind of obvious watching this that Crystal was the one making these things happen.
Yes.
And that's why you got somebody with all that experience.
Yeah, I mean, we know what Haley's capable of. Mm-hmm. We've seen what Sophia Rose is capable of.
Right.
But up until this point, we haven't seen a whole lot of matches with Crystal. Most of our screen time we've gotten from her, she was a Rockette.
Right.
or she was just randomly here or there. But not this time, not at Thanksgiving Thunder. I mean, it was a knockdown dragout.
Yes.
From all three competitors.
This was a great match.
It was a
now that I'm
fantastic
sitting and thinking
match.
about it,
yeah.
This is my match of the night.
Is it?
Now that I'm sitting and thinking about it, just because this is what I like about wrestling. It's like, it's great when you can move a million miles an hour, all that stuff. Like, I like flips and flops and all of that stuff. But I just like it whenever there's, like, people doing a good wrestling match, and there's a good, easy to watch story, and I like the people that are in it. Like, for me, that's all it takes sometimes. I don't need things to be like 5-star classics. I just need them to be good and fluid.
Yeah.
And they are.
And this one certainly was.
This one certainly was. I do think, though, that this is a big moment when we're looking back at the trajectory of Sophia Rose. This is going to end up being a huge moment for her, though.
Yeah, you could kind of feel it in the crowd that it was going to be her night, even though at the same time everybody was kind of shocked, like, oh my God, Crystal White's kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them in 2 women's Nightmare Rumbles. I'm pretty sure both they may have been separate 2 years ago. Last year they came in together,
correct,
when they were Rockettes, and they had a combined time of about 90 seconds.
Yes,
in the Nightmare
correct.
Rumble.
Yeah,
and in the one before, I think they were separate, but still together. They had about a 90-second run in the Nightmare Rumble. Crystal and Katie are our most improved performers of OVW this year. Is there any doubt?
No. Gold stars for both of you.
No. Especially in the last handful of weeks, both of them have completely
upped their game.
Rewritten their game. Their game. It's not the same game anymore. It's not the same. It's not the same game. They've added a whole new chapter. Second movie, if you will, like whatever you want to call it. They've continued to grow, and they really are awesome. And I think honestly, if it's not them, it's probably Sophia Rose. If we're just talking about most overall improvement, yeah. But no, I do think that this will be a match that people remember, and a moment that people remember is Crystal whooping ass and Sophia getting the pin.
Yeah.
Second women's match of the night. Tough to follow, but Freya the Slayer and J-Rod, the women's champion, have all of the advantage in the world of that everybody wants to see this thing.
Yeah, everybody wanted to see this.
Everybody wants to see J-Rod and Freya. Obviously, they beat up dudes, right? These 2 chicks would beat up dudes. So obviously you want to see them together, right?
Yeah.
That's what my mom always used to say. She said, "I fight boys." That's what she would say. So I think that it's apt here. Big time power match between these two.
Yeah, it was certainly very evenly matched.
Throwing each other around.
Yeah.
I do think I would have liked to see Freya win.
Which begs the question, what the hell? What the hell happened?
Unprompted. Let's talk about this finish. Unprompted. Grabs the women's title and just in full view of the ref, just ends her chances right there. I don't understand. I think we're going to a bigger stipulation between these two. I don't think that we've seen the last of them. I think that we'll probably end the year with this being the program that the women's championship, is engulfed in. And I think that I guess that moment was meant to tell us that, like, Freya hates J-Rod more than she loves the title. She's not done with J-Rod yet. She's not done with J-Rod yet. But I know, sitting in the crowd watching it happen, I was certainly a little confused from my wrestling brain was confused. I think that was accurate to the way a lot of people in the crowd felt.
Yeah, that's kind of how I saw it.
But that's kind of how I've dignified it to myself after the fact is Freya was showing us she's not done with J-Rod yet. That's
the only thing I can think of.
That J-Rod's blood, the blood feud between the two of them is more important than the gold. And
She'll get the gold when she's good and ready, but for now, she's not done beating up on
actually,
J-Rod.
I kind of like that as an analysis, is that I could have this thing anytime I want. Right now, I'm just here to beat you up. I think that in this group therapy session that we have arrived at a
motivation?
A motivation, yes.
Yeah, I'm less confused now. How do you feel, Brian?
Yeah.
Why don't we get on to the main event?
Let's do it.
It's the most complicated match of the year.
So, Brian Hines, correct me if I'm wrong. 3 5-minute rounds.
Correct.
Judge's decision.
Correct.
Scale of 1 to 10.
Correct.
The judges are, as we know them, Leather Daddy Doug Basham.
Correct.
Mr. Basham. Miss Katie Gannon.
Correct.
And we don't know until it is announced who the third seat will be, who Cal asked to help him be his judge, and it was Cash Flow.
Yes.
Looking great, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I love Cash in a suit.
He looks sharp.
He looks sharp in a suit, man.
I love those kicks, man.
Oh, yeah.
Those ones that he had on when he was here, he was wearing them. And if you can find a pair of those in size 13, let me know.
By the way, ladies, if you're listening, size 13 over here. Brian Hines, size 13.
Don't make me point at the sign.
That's fine. That's PG-13.
It's PG size 13. That's what the 13 stands for. What do you think, man? Shit, kid.
So I will say at the outset of our analysis here, bring me Tony Shamrock every week. I love Tony Gunn's presentation here.
Hell yeah.
I love Tony Gunn.
Bring the robe.
Yes, bring the robe. Bring the weighted gloves.
Bring the shorts.
Be a striker.
The mouth guard.
Yes.
All of it.
Do it all.
Yeah.
Do it all every
Bring
week.
the dumb stool. All of it.
Well, I don't need the stool.
Bring a stool sample.
No.
Don't bring the whole thing. Just bring a stool sample.
They can give it to you.
No,
I loved this presentation of Tony Gunn. I think he looked much more intimidating with the shorts and the mouth guard and the weighted gloves. I think that the kind of submission master and kind of like striking side of Tony Gunn, I loved and would love to see more of. I just kind of can't get over Tony's presentation here and how good it is and how much I want to see more of it.
Well, Tony Evans heretofore has basically been
Tony
Gunn heretofore has basically been the Stone Cold Steve Austin we have at home. It's very much Steve Austin's.
He's going to kick you in the junk.
I don't think that's fair because much like Steve Austin, Tony Gunn is just beloved by the crowd. This version of Tony Gunn might have been a little working man, a little blue collar, but he's been 1,000 things before.
Sure.
And maybe we can make this the 1,001 thing. Tony Shamrock, 2024, baby.
I kind of think that this
for.
Is my favorite version of Shotgun Tony Gunn.
Absolutely.
I mean, he came out. He looked great. He was hungry. He was vicious. I mean, the ground and pound strikes.
The striking game was insane.
Yes.
The submission game was insane. I honestly think that Cal came off looking a little lesser because he didn't come out with a different gimmick. And I think that it just made Tony Gunn just look like a star, right?
Going back and looking at this, yes, he came out. He understood the assignment.
Right.
Cal Hero came out as Cal Hero. That's not to say that he didn't understand the assignment because...
And it's not to say he looked bad.
No, nothing at all. Nothing to take away from Cal Hero. He's a good boy. He's a good wrestler. He's good in the ring.
He's a real smart boy.
But in terms of this match, Tony Gunn knew what was up, and Tony Gunn came to play.
I want to see more of this. I'm dead serious, man. I might be, if any part of this Tony Gunn can be integrated, I might be like, shit, give him everything. I don't know, man.
I feel
give
like
him all the champions.
I want to see more of this type of match. And I have to admit, when they announced this last week, I heard a couple people snickering about it, like, oh, a gentleman's match. What are they going to do, wrestle for Grey Poupon, or is it just going to be like white gloves? And, yeah, that's kind of what I thought, too. But then they get here, and he rolls up like that, and we're talking about 3 5-minute rounds and judges, and, well, I gave him 9 out of 10 because of this, and I took points off for this. This was exciting. This was entertaining. This was something that I have never seen before at OVW, and it is most definitely something that I want to see again.
And these kind of quote-unquote MMA-inspired matches, they can be a little hard to pull off. They really, really can. They sound a lot more exciting whenever you're pitching them than they often are in execution. I think of that one between John Moxley and whatever they called him in Jake Hager that just should have been like the coolest thing you've ever seen, and it sucked.
It just wasn't.
It just sucked.
That one just missed the mark, but this one caught you on the chin.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. Big fight night feel in the moment in the ring.
Yes.
Big fight night feel on TV later.
Yes.
Like we as people who have done both ends of this, we were there. You and I, Brian, were ringside, right there, literally right under the announce table.
Yeah. So up until this point, I mean, it was a great wrestling pay-per-view. But when we got to this, and this was the main event, it's like somebody flipped on the switch and the crowd was just electrified. Dude. I mean, there was like another element to it that I've never seen before in OVW.
It was Tony Gunn coming out looking like this, man. He set off this whole thing just by coming out looking at this presentation.
Well, and you got to hand it to all of OVW production because the people at ringside,
of course,
the judges, there was a lot of elements here that came together, and it was a pretty great collusion of things to make this all work. I did pull my stopwatch out. They fudged on times a little bit, but not much for the most part.
I kept an eye on that when we were there, and for the same reason. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I didn't have a stopwatch. I didn't have my phone out, time and everything. But I was trying to be mindful of that. And yes, they were very close to the 3 5-minute rounds. So
with the 90-second rest period.
Yes, with the 90-second rest period.
Sometimes they fudge. I think they fudged one of those a little longer than it needed to be, and I think the final round went about 20 seconds longer.
They call that Titan time.
They do indeed.
Yeah, that's right.
But we're here to suss that stuff out. So,
so I guess I think too. As we're kind of moving towards the end of this match, the two things to remember that are really, really important here. I guess three. Cal Risen, Katie all episode, that the rounds were actually as equal as like you could possibly make them. Like,
yeah, I don't know who won.
No,
I can't tell you who a clear winner of that match would have been.
No.
And that Tony Gunn spits on Katie in the middle of the match. Those are the three things I think that you have to remember as we're moving toward the end of this episode and the judge's decision, right?
Yeah.
Is that it really was, there was no clear winner in the matches.
Mm-mm.
Katie starting to get a little soft on Cal,
mm-hmm.
and Tony spit right in Katie's face.
And
good on you, because there's no way to fake wrestling. There's definitely no way to fake getting spit on in the face.
No,
So,
not really.
I hope she
you.
got a little extra in her pay window that week.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah.
Seriously. So as we obviously move toward judge's decision, Doug says the winner's obvious. It's Tony.
Yeah, 10-8, 10-8, 10-8, Tony Gunn.
Cash says the winner's obvious. It's Cal. So we are going to true.
Cash did give Tony Gunn the second round.
Yeah.
So it was not like Doug was like, no, Tony won them all.
Yeah.
Cash was like, Tony won the second round, but Cal got the first and the last round.
And so we are left to true judge's decision. And Katie is the last judge.
Correct.
She cannot seem to come up with an answer.
No, she's torn, unfortunately.
And before somebody makes her,
the entire revolution comes and jumps our young hero Cal.
Yeah.
And Cash flips over the table, which is so great. Cash flips over the table and gets in the ring. Katie and Doug are long gone by the time there's any sort of what am I trying to say? Any sort of justice brought to Cal, right? Any sort of after everybody leaves, after the thing calms down. Sorry, I've had a long day today, guys. It doesn't always work up here. I had several concussions. It doesn't always work up here, okay? Cash, we don't know who won. We don't know who Katie would have chose. Cash, kind of symbolically anoints Cal the winner, and that's how we leave.
Yeah,
So we're
it's-
setting up for Christmas chaos.
It's not a clear winner. And with that being said, the setup for Christmas Chaos, if this is our last interaction between Shotgun Tony Gunn and Cow Hero, and it was a gentleman's match of this caliber, I'll go ahead and tell you what I hoped was going to happen at this match. It didn't. The only person I told when we were together was Victor's wife, Kathy. And I wrote it on a piece of paper, and I let her see it. I didn't let you see it. I didn't let Victor see it. But I showed her, and she was like, yeah, you know what? That's not too far out of the realm of possibility. So, do I think it's going to happen? No. But wouldn't it be something if they end Thanksgiving Thunder on a no-decision gentleman's match between these two with 3 judges? Cashflow being the 3rd judge, fresh off of Tulsa King Season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you got it.
I mean, there's... I wouldn't be surprised if he brought Sly Stallone with him.
Wouldn't that be
For Christmas Chaos?
Wouldn't
That'd be a
that be
Christmas
dope?
miracle.
we know that they have an affection for each other.
They're pretty close friends, and those
not like
pretty
that,
shoot-
though. That's a revolution
To
thing.
quote Jamin Olivencia,
How about that?
manifest it.
Manifest it. Yeah, what he said.
That stuff works, man.
Hey, if I'm wrong, nothing happens. But if I'm right, boy, wouldn't that make for a great pay-per-view?
So
Be awesome.
it occurs to me, in this night, we saw 2 big marquee matches with stipulations that we've never seen anywhere else.
Which were
The reverse
Battle Royal and the gentleman's match.
and then the gentleman's match.
well, the reverse battle royal TNA had a version of back in the day, and the gentleman's match is an old English
okay,
tradition.
so I'm ignorant. They were new. to
Hey,
me.
I'm right there with you. I didn't know about either one of those, though. That's fine.
All I do is watch top 10 wrestling moments, so that's how I know stuff. It's not because I'm good.
Hey,
it's not
it
because I'm
shows.
Smart, I
You're putting in
promise.
the work. It shows.
It's not because I'm smart, I promise.
But what a great night of wrestling.
But no, as far as stuff that you're not used to seeing at OVW and you're not used to seeing, in general, loved both of them. And it had to be, I don't think that a battle royal with the punishment, it had to be a reverse battle royal with the punishment. Right?
Sure, yeah.
But no, I think that this was all highly executed. I think this was all highly executed stuff. And everyone ate good that Thanksgiving.
I sure did.
All right, you guys ready to take us home?
Let's do it.
Yes'm.
Well, we don't need to do that. Thing still mentions the Carney Awards.
Hey, we were nominated.
We were.
We were the unofficial winners.
We won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unofficially speaking, we did. So
So Jackman and Brian are our hosts. I'm your executive producer. My son Malachi is your studio engineer. Victor's
Malachi
our
P.S. Woodard.
Malachi P.S. Woodard. Victor's our supervising producer. Homefront's coming back maybe as early as next week. We will certainly let you know about that. Until then, have a great one, guys.
Love you guys.
see you tomorrow.